Found out girlfriend had 3-year-long affair with sister's boyfriend, baby daddy. They still have contact with each other. Basically, I've been dating this chick for about 5 months. Found out she had been cheating on her boyfriend of 14 years with her sister's boyfriend. This happened while they were all living in a house together off and on for 2 to 3 years. I found out that my girlfriend had intense feelings for both men simultaneously. It's not this that bothers me so much, although it should. It's the way she handled getting caught. Her sister's boyfriend got drunk, came clean about the incident, and my girlfriend claimed he was lying. They then got together and made a plan to say it was all a joke. Claiming it was a joke lasted for months until my girlfriend finally came clean to her sister. To this day, my girlfriend still denies this to her ex-boyfriend. Never admitted to it. She attempted to make him feel guilty that she could be such a terrible person. Played victim. Yada yada. Fast forward to today. He now lives directly next door to my girlfriend. She watches his kids sometimes. I asked her to not let her in the house under any circumstances. This of course is not being respected, as he's been in the home 3 times while I've been there. All related to picking up the kids. I called my girlfriend out on this and her response was, "This is my house. If I say he can be here, then he can be here." Am I asking too much? You've discovered that your girlfriend is a piece of shit. What are you going to do with this knowledge? He's not too bothered by it. Fool's going to marry her, obviously. If she does something like this to her sister, I wouldn't even date her. How can you trust her? The good news is you only lost 5 months. Once someone can cheat and betray their own sibling like that, they have no morals. Run. She told you who she is. You should believe her. My 27F husband, 33 meters, is a Seedle driver and failed a drug test. His license is ruined now and our means of support is gone. I'm so emotional and in tears, and I am so at a loss for words. My husband refused a drug test after getting in an accident at work. He refused for THC, but I had no idea this was something he was even doing. We have 4 young children we are support, and I'm so upset he has ruined our means to support ourselves while I am in college and about to finish my final year. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against weed and wouldn't even care he smoked if it wasn't for the fact as a Seedle driver he cannot obviously do this. From what I'm reading, he will not be allowed to operate a truck until he completes a minimum 6-month program with the SAP. His job hasn't told him how his employment is gonna go now. If they fire him, he is screwed to find another Seedle driving job, and he has no other trades to make even half the money he makes now. I'm so stressed, I've been crying all day. I just can't believe he would put our kids and family in jeopardy. We lost our house and everything years ago after he lost his job and finally got to where we were no longer paycheck to paycheck and was really making strides to buying a house. I want to leave him. I'm so devastated he has done this to our family again. But I feel so guilty for my children because I know this will affect them so much, and I feel bad if I decide to go and leave him when he is down. My sister has offered me a place to stay in her downstairs apartment of her house so she can help me get through my last year of college and to give the kids some time to adjust in a place they are familiar at. I've already put in job applications for 2 days and have 3 interviews lined up next week. I'm so scared for the months to come. I've just worked way too hard in school to give me and the kids a better future, and he just seems to continually make messes I clean up, and I can't do it this time. I don't even know where to begin. I don't know what I'm needing. Words of encouragement, to vent, to find some hope in a hopeless situation. Maybe I'm being the bitch in the situation. More info. I keep getting asked why we had another child. At the time my last son was born, we were settled in our current home 2.5 years. He had held the same job that whole time and was making a very comfortable wage. We did discuss terminating with me being in college and not wanting another baby, but because financially at the time we could afford it, it seemed we had really settled into things. and was working towards buying our house. It just didn't feel right to us. I never thought this would have ever happened again because we both worked so hard to start over. More info: after he lost his job and we lost our house, we both went to work full-time for 2 years while I also went to school, and we got a home and everything back up. I didn't leave work until our son was born, and we decided for me to stay home due to the work income. The RS daycare cost was not enough to make sense. Go to your sisters, get a trial separation, and go to counseling. I'm not saying this needs to end in divorce, but obviously you don't trust him anymore. That needs to be addressed in counseling. Focus on school and getting yourself to a good place where you can support yourself and your kids. We lost our house and everything years ago after he lost his job. Sounds like there is a pattern emerging here. You're not being a bitch, but you need to find your next step and not wallow. I believe in you. You've done this before, you can do it again. Be strong. It's going to be a long road. I know. I guess I'm torn. It's hard to know the next steps because this all happened a few days ago. His work has not told him anything yet and he has a meeting Monday. Until then I'm just in limbo trying to look at all options and decide where to go from here and have plans with either way I choose. So, what's the plan here? Do you want to get a new job, or are you gonna be taking care of the kids while I finish up school and get a job to support us? Also, side note, you will be doing the drug program, because if you prioritize recreational drug use over our family's security, then you either have a drug problem, or we have so little value to you that I really need to be getting a divorce. I am hoping it's the former and not the latter. I've asked him this to take some initiative. I told him to go to work, call SAP and have all the information with you at work Monday about a program you're enrolling into and when it starts and when he can drive again. At least then it would show work he cares. But all he has done is sit around. And now he keeps trying to cheer me up and shower me with affection. It's not working. And that's almost like what bothers me the most. Not only has all this happened, but he is looking to me to tell him what to do about it. I want to leave him. I'm so devastated he has done this to our family again. I hope this is not an invasive question, and if it is, please don't feel obligated to answer. But you mentioned that years ago he lost his job, which led to the loss of your house. When you say done this to our family again, do you mean that the previous time he lost his job, it was because of something he did wrong, poor performance for example, or drug use? Or was the previous job loss a result of economic circumstances? No, it's okay. A few years ago he kept job hopping. Every job he went to, he found a reason to hate until he couldn't find another job to take him because his spotty job history. He quit one job and the next one he was fired from after getting yet another speeding ticket the first few weeks of work. His luck ran out and he couldn't find another in time. We lost our house and had to start all over with 3 children. I, 24F, accidentally saw my boyfriend's, 24M, porn history and now feel guilty and insecure. Mobile, sorry for formatting issues. I'll preface this by saying my BF and I have full access to all of each other's electronic devices. He's always offering to let me use his iPad, on which he had downloaded a game I like to play. The other day after work I came back to his place while he was still working and his iPad was laying on the bed. I get all comfy after a long day and unlock it to have some mindless fun. His browser was open showing all the tabs on all of his devices, and there in the middle of the screen is a list of video titles with words like huge tits and busty and such. I sat there for a second, a little taken aback as anyone would when stumbling across someone's porn history. Now, I have no problem at all with watching porn. He has an extremely high libido as it is, and honestly if it gives me a little bit of a break I'm all for it. But after locking his iPad, setting it aside and watching YouTube on my laptop instead, I couldn't get the video titles out of my head. I'm a petite girl with a small chest. Sometimes I'm cool with it, sometimes I wish I was more womanly. The grass is always greener, you know. But after that, I felt really low. I know my BF is attracted to me, but as this is something I'm already insecure about, I questioned if I was really what he wanted. I know sex and attraction are more than looks alone, but I couldn't help but wonder if he watches this genre BC he's looking for a type of satisfaction I can't give him. Well, all have our preferences, and obviously my boobs aren't a deal breaker, but it sucks when you can't give your SO what they want. I guess this is a long-winded way of asking how do I approach this subject with him, if at all. We haven't talked about porn really in our year-long relationship and don't want to embarrass him. I think it's important to talk about our feelings, and I feel the need to tell him what I saw BC. For some it's a very personal subject and I'm feeling a little icky for exposing him like that, even though it was an accident. Or do I wait it out and see where I'm at? I'm an emotional person and do my best to think logically. Maybe I'm making a bigger deal out of it than it really is. I'm just hoping for another perspective. Maybe he, like most men, likes big tits and small tits and everything in between. Since he has access to small tits in real life, he only needs to search for porn of the big ones. If he were single, his history would be a fucking smorgasbord of all kinds of shit. Source: am single. History is a fucking smorgasbord of all kinds of shit. People can have more than one interest. I love Star Trek. Trek is my favorite. I bought all the DVDs and watch it all the time. You know what? Sometimes I fancy a little Stargate, so I go on whatever streaming service and watch a little Stargate. Trek shouldn't feel insecure about its lack of a gate. I love its spaceships. I'm in the same itty bitty titty boat, and my BF looks at all sorts of crap, bigger women included. People in general can like more than one thing. It's not a Team Edward or Team Jacob situation. My BF told me that sometimes he just looks up what he's in the mood for that day. I wouldn't take it to heart and feel insecure or guilty. And itty bitties do not make you any less of a woman. 100%. A lot of us don't even have a type besides variety. If she had big knockers, his browser history would be full of tiny tits babes searches. I watch lesbian porn, but I am not a lesbian and neither is my boyfriend. It definitely has nothing to do with you, my dear. My wife thinks Chris Hemsworth is super hot. She's correct. Also, it should go without saying, I'm not built like Thor. It turns out a loving relationship isn't built on that.